So we are still about 4 days away from the global Dokkan campaign officially starting, and there's a lot of things to talk about still, funny enough. So we do have the banners and who they're going to be featured on, which is going to be the main point of this video. Now, first and foremost, people are going to be asking when do the banners come out, and we have a very good estimate of when it's going to happen. So we see in the initial reveal, they stated that the banners are going to be available from July 7th through August 11th at 1700 JST. Now, a lot of people took this time, which is about 1 a.m. Eastern or 1 a.m. Pacific, 4 a.m. Eastern, and they're like, oh no, the banners are going to drop at this time. I saw a lot of people confused about that. Very understandable, but that is actually not the start time. The time frame specifically is only listed for the end time. The start time, like, you know, exact time, like the start day, is not listed, right? So we actually get a good idea of when the banner will drop based off of this right here. So again, I state there's no start time listed for the banners, but we have the infinite boosts, right? Which, if you aren't aware, on the 7th at 1 a.m. GMT, there's going to be a boost refresh every 7 seconds. Now, this 1 a.m. GMT time is, I believe, 6 p.m. Pacific time, right? So I think for global, that's about an hour or two after the reset time, like every day. That's when this boost refresh from every second starts. It is at a time that things don't usually like come out. So I think that for like these major celebrations, things like that, they aim for random times. This makes a lot of sense to me if this is when the banner comes out, which is again 6 p.m. on the 6th, actually, funny enough. Then we see the live stream is pretty much 24 hours ish before then. So I think this all ties together, even if the live stream again is exactly 24 hours before then, and then the boosts start like an hour before. Again, around this time is when I think the banners will come out. So again, on the 6th, more or less, right, about 24-ish hours after the live stream specifically. So I mean, this is going to be pretty cool, and I will be live talking about this. But anyways, let's really hop into the banners themselves. Now, I do want to note, I am not confident in the banners specifically because they're going to be changing. I think the banners will likely be good, but okay, let's take a look here at the Dokkan Festival last year for Worldwide Celebration. We got the Dokkan Festival, we got Piccolo, and we have Majin Buu, the Golden Week character. Now, we just had the Golden Week characters last until the end of May, right? Which they literally left a month ago, pretty much, right? They were just here, the Golden Week characters. So they're not gonna most likely return the Golden Week characters so soon. Like, that'd be a 2-month return, which is very crazy. And I think outside of very special occasions, they're not gonna do this. Because keep in mind, this is going to be the format received every year. If the Golden Week characters return in 2 months, absolutely no one is summoning for the Golden Week banners, because you could just wait for the second anniversary of the year, basically, which is the Global Dokkan campaign. Why would you summon on the Golden Week banners with that, right? So I actually don't think the Golden Week characters are going to return on these banners this year. And then, you know, I think there's another thing of, if this is an anniversary level campaign, truly, I feel like there's a good chance that the Super Easy A's and everything like that is actually featured like the actual anniversary banners. So like, let's take a look at Vegeto's banner, for example. Outside of the banner unit, it was all LRs, right? And then Super Easy A's got their own separate banners and things like that. I'm thinking that they might make these banners more similar to the 10th anniversary banners than the Golden Week banners. So if they go ahead and do that, I think it'd be like a mixture of both in a sense. So that's where I'm going for in terms of this. And it's the same for the Carnival banners too. Now, I'm also going off the fact that I think that this will be a Dokanfest X Carnival celebration. I'm going to have another video talking about leader skills where I said, oh, imagine they are at Dokanfest. That's kind of just to kind of talk about like what categories they could lead specifically. And I'll kind of cover like more so if they're a Dokanfest Carnival, but that was the question for that in case you're wondering. My guess is that it's going to be a Dokanfest Carnival banner. I think there's nothing else really to assume otherwise until they say to do Dokanfest. I'm going to assume it's a Dokanfest Carnival. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and hop into the Dokkan Festival. Now, I think either Vegito, or I shouldn't mainly say Vegito, either the Goku and Vegeta or the Zamasu and Rose are going to be the Dokkan Fest, but my guess is that we're going to see Zamasu and Rose as the Dokkan Fest. To me, that just makes more sense. Just because I think for them having an actual villain leader skill would be really cool with in terms of multiple categories. And I think for the most part, Vegito being the Carnival would be okay. Like you see, I'm literally calling him Vegito, but the Goku and Vegeta being the Carnival would be okay because at the end of the day, he is technically a Vegito card, but it is the super class characters. I think them being Carnivals would make a lot of sense. So I'm thinking again, especially if part 2 is going to be another arc, maybe they wouldn't want the super class character to really like be the stronghold there. So that's why I'm thinking part 1 extreme class. Plus I think Zamasu and Goku Black do deserve to get a Dokkan Fest LR. Like technically Blue Goku and Vegeta do have the Dokkan Fest LR from the 2023 worldwide, but Zamasu and Goku Black do not actually have a Dokkan Fest LR. We have the Yellow Corn LR. So I think they might even get their own Dokkan event. I think that'd make a lot of sense. So this would be really cool, I think, to see these guys as a Dokkan Fest over the Goku and Vegeta personally. But okay, let's say they're the Dokkan Fest, they should definitely get a banner unit. And here's my idea for the banner unit, because again, we've gotten a lot of Future Saga stuff in terms of banner units and stuff in the past. So eventually for like a banner unit type character, they could do really anything. They could even make like a future Yajirobe, but I'm going with a Zamasu Goku Black here. Like a Zamasu Goku is what the actual name of the card is. I brought this character up as an example. Again, they're going to be a TUR character. But I think another named Zamasu card would be really, really huge, especially if they go all out with Easy A's, Super Easy A's, and things like that. I could truly see Zamasu Goku being a banner unit here. I think it would be very nice to have, like, just, again, another character with a similar link set. I mean, the only thing is that Zamasu Goku does actually not have big bad bosses. Funny enough, Zamasu himself doesn't have big bad bosses. Only Goku Black has the big bad bosses link. Until it's Fusion Zamasu. Then that's when Zamasu has it. I do hope that they make a change, by the way, that the tag part of the Zamasu actually does have big bad bosses. That'd be really good. And I actually do hope that they would, like, let's say, okay, if they get rid of legendary power, this could be Fierce Battle, and then instead we can get, let's say, big bad bosses on here would be ideal. Yeah, like big bad bosses, Godly Power, Cold Judgment, Nightmare, Dismal Future, Fear and Faith, Fierce Battle. Like that'd be fine, right? He would link a lot with these Zamasus, and again, he does link pretty nicely with the Zamasus here, the Goku Blacks here, but big bad bosses would be really good for just a bunch of the other Goku Black and Zamasu characters. So fingers crossed that this guy would get like a big bad bosses type of link. Now, next is going to be the 10th anniversary Vegito. Now, we know that the Golden Week characters aren't going to return, and we know that Tanabata is pushed back to September. I'm really thinking that the 10th anniversary LRs are going to come. And again, this is not like oh, for sure this is going to happen, like 100%. This is my predictions. I personally think that the 10th anniversary Dokkan Fest and the Carnival LRs are all going to return during the celebration. And it's going to be a thing of, okay, this celebration, the next anniversary returns the Global Dokkan campaign units. The JP anniversary returns on the Global Dokkan campaign, right? Kind of like a 6-month cycle so that there's a consistency in who's returning and things like that. And I think that'd be pretty cool, right? I think it would streamline things a lot better. It would make it so that the anniversary LRs aren't just on that 7-7 Tanabata banner that's like overbloated. I think it would be pretty cool, honestly, because outside of that banner, the anniversary characters don't return for a full year, and that is very unfortunate. So this would just be better for us as players, and honestly, I think it would be better for them. They would probably make even more money during the like 2 big celebrations because these characters of the anniversary are returning at a pretty decent time frame too. So I think that's why this would be ideal, honestly. In that circumstance, but yeah, so I think really the Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta Angel would be my choice. They could return the Gogeta portion, but because this is like, I think there's a lot of Zamasus like Batara. There's the, obviously they're marketing him as a Vegito pretty much is what it's looking like. There's the Blue Vegito portion. I think this would just kind of fit better here. There's the chance that I mean, there's a lot of people saying GT for part 2. There's a lot of people saying even superhero for part 2. There's people saying just a bunch of things. But it feels like, let's say GT for part 2, for example. I think the Gogeta would fit better in that spot, obviously. Like returning for, like, I don't know, Dokanfest standalone Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta or something, right? That would be crazy. We'll see what happens. I'm really hoping Daima's part 2, of course, but you know, either way, I think even then, just return Gogeta there, then have this Vegito here in this part 1. That would make a lot of people really excited to summon these banners, having another chance to get the Year 10 fusions. I think that'd be pretty cool. Next on the banner is the Super Saiyan Goku, Gohan, and Trunks. And again, this is kind of just based off of the fact that I feel like they usually do return the previous year's worldwide celebration character on here. So again, we're taking a look here at this banner, right? Pretty much every single global Dokkan campaign has or worldwide has returned the previous worldwide LR. This is pretty much the worldwide celebration just redone into another celebration. So that's why I'm thinking that the previous like worldwide celebration LR of last year would return, at least the A banner, which would actually be the Super Saiyan Goku, Gohan, and Trunks, right? And this character is not the worst ever, but nothing really crazy. And honestly, you can even see a little bit of theme of like Power of Wishes here. I don't believe Vegito specifically is on Power of Wishes himself, but I think you're gonna see like a lot of different Power of Wishes characters on these banners too, right? Because there's a whole thing going on with like the gods, the wishes, right? Even then, you could even say like these guys being handed the Patara specifically from Supreme Kai, right? You know, that's kind of the gods' influence, right? So that's the thing, right? But yeah, anyways, Power Wishes, cool. I think this character, obviously, this character is more so Power Wishes, not because of Shenron, but because of the energy they absorb. But yeah, these guys returning here, I think would be pretty nice. They could technically also return the Int LR Broly here. That would be really nice, like especially if it's like a Dokanfest. Actually, I think yeah, it could be either these guys or the Broly, huh? Because this is an extreme class banner, I'm gonna put Broly here just because it's like more of a prediction. But I think because it's extreme class, maybe they will prioritize returning Broly on here. If like the Dokanfest is Goku Black and Zamasu. If the Dokanfest is the Blue Goku and Vegeta, then I could see that Super Saiyan trio return. But otherwise, I'm gonna put Broly here actually. Now, unfortunately, like Goku Blacks are not on Uncontrollable Power. Very sad. It would be pretty cool if they were, but unfortunately, that's not really a thing. They're really not any of these teams. So yeah, I put 9th anniversary DBS Broly on here. Again, if we go ahead and take a look at the previous worldwide banners, I just basically put the A banner, quote unquote, or part 1 Dokanfest for the 9th anniversary and just moved up a year here. And then with that in mind, I did go ahead and put Dragon Ball Super Broly. I think again, Super Boss's kind of theme kind of fits here, and he would just be an LR to return. Honestly, he's not crazy anymore or anything. But yeah, just putting him on here, I think just as a character that would fit a little bit. He's not terrible, but he's definitely not really what he once was, of course. Then I actually did put both of the Future Saga Worldwide 2023 LRs on here. And again, this is kind of going a little off, right? Because, again, it's like there's 2 TURs on here in this banner. I'm actually thinking that this banner might not be full, like have a lot of TURs in there. I think it might be a full LR banner based off of this, right? And then I think if they really want to go with the thematic of like part 1's future and part 2 is another banner, I'm thinking having these 2 return on this banner also makes sense to me as like Zamasu versus kind of Goku and Vegeta being in here. I think that these 2 would return. It just makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not going to say that they're going to EZA. I don't think they are. But on the off chance that they would receive an Extreme Z Awakening, I could see these 2 returning on this banner. Again, I'm not thinking that's going to be the case. I really doubt it. They could also do like maybe a temporary buff. We've seen that with like the previous anniversary leading up to the 10th anniversary. Remember, they had given buffs to the previous anniversary characters starting with the 3rd anniversary for a temporary time. they could do the same thing for these guys. I think that'd be really cool. That'd be very, very fun to kind of reuse these guys again. Especially because, you know, I guess the only issue is obviously this guy, like, the guard for 4 turns sucks, but turn 7 is not really too bad to get for Future Saga. You know, maybe these guys could be really interesting next to new LR with a buffed passive, right, temporarily. Again, that'd be really cool. Next here, Vegeta and Trunks. I honestly just put them on the banner because I really think they're going to EZA. And again, this is where we're getting into like, oh, instead of a TUR that would EZA, an LR that would EZA during the celebration, Vegeta and Trunks makes a lot of sense to me. And it could be very possible, again, if they're basing this off the 10th anniversary, we only see LR EZAs compared to seeing some TUR EZAs. But there's a lot of LR potential options here, so who knows, honestly. Something we have to see, but I could see these banners being just full of LRs only. And if we're gonna go with that assumption, then Super Saiyan God SS Vegeta and Super Saiyan Trunks right here would be a shoe and EZA. I put the LR Gods on here just because they're actually going to be a very good linking partner with the new Blue Goku and Vegeta, like an extremely good linking partner. Maybe one of the two lead Power Beyond Super Saiyan, or they could lead Realm of Gods, and then this guy would kind of fit in here pretty well, I think. And then maybe you could say, oh, these guys return part 1, part 2 is GT, and then they, or Diamond, they return the Dokanfest Super Saiyan for Goku and Vegeta, right? I think, you know, that kind of is something that could fit in here. We also see that no anniversary units actually really return on this banner like that, right? Except for like the 8th anniversary. But during the 10th anniversary, again, we had the Gods and Super Saiyan 4s return because they EZ8, of course. I think them coming back here would be really cool. Orange Piccolo, I just put on the banner, not really for any particular reason. I think this is like a character, it's like you can kind of just like predict, like you could kind of throw any LR on here. I mean, in terms of Future Saga Dokanfest LRs, there's actually not any more. So again, I just threw Orange Piccolo on here. Maybe you could say, oh, they're going to return Daima Goku, but I think they will save the Daima characters for a specific Daima drop. That's my guess, though. With that in mind, I mean, Power Awakening Piccolo, just kind of, I'll just throw them on here. They could, if it's like, let's say, again, there's some people saying Superhero Part 2. I've seen like 1 or 2. It's very little people saying that. But if that's the case, they could just put some other LR, like, I don't know, they could just throw SDR Vegito on there, or, you know, the cooler, like SDR cooler or something on the banner. Like, who knows for sure, but I'm generally guessing something like this. I think pretty much all 9 of these characters, like again, we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 9 characters I feel pretty good about, honestly. Orange Piccolo could be whatever, so that's that. Now we can move on to the Carnival banner. Again, I'm thinking that it is going to be Dokanfest Carnival. If it would be dual Dokkan Festival, then I guess it would be like Gogeta, Super Saiyan Trio. This would be Beast Gohan spot. Maybe just like these two are split between the banners and we get like another LR on here. Yeah, I don't know. And you know, one other thing about me thinking that it's Dokanfest Carnival, I didn't bring it up, but I think Fusion Zamasu is going to get an ECA. And I think him being featured on the Carnival banner makes a lot of sense, of course. So again, so we're basing it off more so. I'm thinking that we're going to see a full LR lineup here again, especially with we're getting so many Carnivals now, and especially with these two returning is my prediction for part 1, like the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and then the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta. I think that'd be really cool. Again, it is also so possible that like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and then Goku Frieza return in this spot, and then like this is Gogeta's spot that he returns in. But I'm gonna predict that the part 1 characters do return here. Now again, we see that there is also going to be this character. Super Saiyan Trio did return last year in the Broly banner. So if we go ahead and take that, Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks would return on the Goku and Vegeta banner. So we will start out pretty strong. Tech Gotenks is still a very good character, and he did return on the Caulifla and Kale banner, but bringing this guy back again I think would be really good. A lot of people probably didn't summon on the Caulifla and Kale banner anyways, but yeah, I could see Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks making a return on this banner specifically would be very, very good, right? Plus, I think the Int Super Saiyan Trio, if I'm not mistaken, they were on the Tanabata banner too. If I'm not mistaken, they did return like with the who was the Tanabata character last year. I don't know why I'm not remembering last year's Tanabata. It just like disappeared from my mind. Am I crazy? Okay. I had to look it up. I'm sorry, guys. Like I don't remember last year's Tanabata for some reason. Why don't I remember? I'm like losing my memory. Tech UI, yeah. Producer the Jiren banner, the Super Saiyan 3 to return. I forgot about dude. Tech UI sucks. She's not memorable. Oh no, no Tech UI. Okay, anyways, I mean maybe they returned like Tech UI. I don't know. Then okay, let's assume that these 4 LRs would return, right? I think it'd be a pretty strong lineup with these 3. People don't like Blue Evolution Vegeta. I think it's better than people give him credit for though. And again, technically, you wouldn't have Universe Survival Saga, but this character would actually activate the unit super attack. And if you're tagged into Vegeta, this guy could link pretty good with them potentially, right? Prodigy's royal lineage, godly power, prepared for battle, fierce battle, legendary power. That's 6 links right there, man. That could be pretty good, honestly. And it has Goku in the name. Tech Broly, I just kind of put Tech Broly on here. I guess if I put in Broly in the other banner, this would actually end up being the Super Saiyan Gohan. So let me actually bring out that Super Saiyan. I did change that last minute. So I guess this would actually be Super Saiyan Teen Gohan. Kamehameha character, just sure. He's not what he once was, of course, but you could still get away with him, right? I think the Broly Worldwide Celebration characters, you could still get away with them on teams. They're not dominant forces anymore, but they're still overall good characters. We have the Year 9 Super Saiyan Gogeta here. Just kind of blue fusion, kind of mirrors DBS Broly's return, so I just put him on this banner. Then I did return the Worldwide Celebration 2023 Carnival LRs just cause I think if the Dokanfest LRs are going to return, I could very easily see like a Future Saga kind of themed banner here with these 2 returning. It's really just like I'm returning these guys because they're the mirror of the other characters that are returning, but especially because Future Saga stuff going on here for the celebration of part 1. Into Fusion Zamasu, again, I talked about him earlier. I think him returning on a Carnival banner during part 1 makes sense. I'm feeling very strongly that Vegeta and Trunks and Fusion Zamasu are going to be like the part 1, like the first EZA actual characters, like excluding Super EZAs, right? So I'm feeling really strongly about Infusion Zamasu returning on a Carnival banner part 1. And again, this banner could really stay the same even if it's Vegeta or Fusion Zamasu, like as the new Dokanfest LRs, right? Then I am split between the last character. I could see this character get an Extreme Z Awakening, the Super Saiyan Gohan and Trunks. I honestly, I'm not sure. Like, okay, if it's a dual Dokkan festival, I can also very much see this character EZA, because then I would think the Carnival LR in part 2 would be like Z Trunks. But I'm thinking Dokkan Fest Carnival, then a separate like theme in part 2 that's not Future Saga, a separate set of characters. Otherwise, I feel like the theme would be more so Future Saga rather than the complex thing that they named it. And if that's the case, like it would be like defying the future rather than breaking through, right? I feel like they would be more specific with it, but who knows? Either way, I think this character is a pretty good choice for an EZA as an LR character. Otherwise, Tech, Goku Black, and Zamasu, just kind of throwing them on here just cause we have the new one coming, and they could Super EZA, they could not Super EZA. I think it really depends on if this character is going to EZA. If I'm gonna guess, I think they'll stick with DBS and just return this Goku Black and Zamasu here. A lot of people are thinking this character could get a Super EZA as well, right? Now, the last thing I want to talk about is people may notice again the lack of like physical Vegito Blue, A0 Rose, Tech Fusion Zamasu, and the return of also the Int Trunks, right? Basically, in fact, these 4 groupings of characters, right? A lot of people will be like, okay, well, these 4 characters, if they're not on the Dokanfest banner, where are they going to return? There's 2 things I will say to that. one, they are on the new Global Dokkan Stone, right? That's a thing that's kind of out right now. But the second thing I think it's gonna happen is this. I think we're gonna get this banner for these 4 characters. Right. Doesn't that make a lot of sense? I think so. I think that, to me, that makes a lot of sense. These 4 characters getting super easy A's, and then we get this banner for all 4 of them. Sounds pretty good to me. That tech cell here, which is very funny. I guess if they would add a 5th character to get a super easy A, it wouldn't be Goku Black and Zamasu, I think, right? So, I mean, what 5th super easy Dokanfest character, like in here, could we get? This would be crazy, but I don't really think that's gonna happen. I don't know. I can't really say for sure. Oh, Blue Vegeta. Oh yeah, this guy too. Perfect, yeah. Actually, this makes a lot of sense. Banner with these 5 characters. These 5 characters all getting super easy. Just go for it. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah. Yep. That's my predictions here. So again, these characters all returning on this banner. I feel pretty good about like my guesses for the main banners, but again, it could be wrong and it could be like a dual Dokanfest, but we'll have to wait and see for sure. Again, these are at the end of the day just my predictions. So let me know what you guys are thinking, who you would like to see return on these banners. I think no matter what, we'll see a lot of Future Saga LRs returning, a lot of these ECAs returning make a lot of sense. But thanks y'all for watching, and hopefully good luck on your summons in the next few days, whenever the banners come out. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.